Okay, so thank you for tuning in with us today. If y'all don't know who this is, y'all need to get tapped in. I'm here with the Darren Brand, aka Big Baby. So let's go back to how it all got started. You're from Southern Pines, North Carolina, right?
Yeah, country boy. Yeah,
So
country,
talk to
country.
me, talk to me a little bit about your upbringing.
Uh, a lot of people from North Carolina, majority come from a small town, I would say. You know, uh, grew up poor, didn't know we was poor.
Hmm.
Had two parents, you know what I mean, but it wasn't the most healthiest, situation growing up. You don't know that you're in something traumatic till you get out of it, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
So use laughter and sports and other things to hide what I was going through at home. So just small towns, one of them places, if you don't small towns, I would say is almost worse than cities. If you don't leave at 18, you low key trapped for the rest
Hmm.
of your life. So um, very rooted. I was, very educated. I was raised with to make good grades and yes, ma'am, yes, sir, discipline well.
Hmm.
Um, and thank God I went to college. And,
Hmm.
college for a lot of people opens you up to the world, lets you know that there's other things out there, other places you can do, meeting different Black people. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much about my upbringing.
Hmm.
Country boy, man. Fun, fun to be around in school, but I had a lot of issues and stuff coming home, just like any other Black person during that time. And
Hmm.
but I'm not one of those people who make excuses for my past, or I'm not one of those people that be like, oh, I went through this. I think that's the problem with a lot of people these days. You may go through something, but if you still living and standing, that means you survived it. So what are you still
Right.
holding on to something from 10, 15, 20 years ago? At this point,
Mm.
you low key making it an excuse. You're either gonna heal from it or you ain't.
Okay, comedian and motivational speaker. Talk to him.
Nah, people just don't. I don't know. People don't want to hear that.
Hmm. No, I think that's really important, especially coming from North Carolina. I feel like a lot of people don't understand this area. We're not,
Hmm.
quite as southern as the real South, but
Right.
it's a little different out here. But it's also a place that I've grown to love. Like it is my heart, and I'm stamped with it 919. Like I love this place.
Right.
I
Right.
definitely think that's so important. And you brought up going to college. You went to North Carolina A&T. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah. Probably the best decision I ever made in my life for me. Um, Coming from a small town where you think there's no way out, and
Mm-hmm.
going to a school like A&T where when you go to your orientation, you see 3 or 4 thousand Black kids from different parts of the world, not just the
Mm-hmm.
U.S., the world, who came here to further their education. And at that time, for me, that was a culture shock. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Like, wow, this many Black people want to go to college. That was a culture shock. And for me, A&T is the place that molded me, made me proud to be Black, made me proud to be Black and celebrated, made me proud to be Black and educated.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so many Black people from different walks of life attend A&T. So, that whole myth about going to a Black school, it's fake because the real world ain't like that. No, the real world is
Mm-hmm.
just like that because it's every type of Black person at a Black school.
Mm-hmm.
Nerds, geniuses,
Mm-hmm.
athletes, trap,
Mm-hmm.
hood, you know what I'm saying? Every type, you know what I mean? And the whole mission is to graduate and be better than where you were when you came in. And so, with that being said, A&T single-handedly gave me the confidence to even, you know, be able to perform in front of large masses of crowd, hosting step shows, starting off in college, hosting fashion shows, hosting is very parallel to stand up. Stand up is,
Mm-hmm.
my true passion. And so once I discovered that I could do it, and everybody knows if you perform well at HBCU, you can
Mm-hmm.
do good at HBCU. You almost perform anywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like if you
Because
can
that's a
graduate
tough
from
crowd.
if you can graduate from an HBCU, you damn near can survive anything because it's
Mm-hmm.
so much against you, but there's so much family and love to make sure you get out.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Talk to me a little bit about when you were at NT. I see you started a comedy club. How did that all come about?
I didn't start that till after graduation. I was about 24, 25, but I started a freestyle funny, me, Chico, B-Dot, Osama
Mhm.
been drinking for one or two jams. Comedian Burpee, who's in Charlotte, Power 98. We had a group called Freestyle Funny Comedy Show, and we was the first, I would say, comedy group to do stand-up and improv at shows. And we
Mhm.
started doing colleges. And it was easy to do colleges because we all are college alumni. And
Mhm.
the thing about colleges, it don't matter PWI or HBCU, most of them are all the same.
Mhm.
You broke, you want to have fun, you want to party. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So being that we had college experience and different perspectives from each experience, it made touring colleges easy. And that's kind of where
Mhm.
that started. Hmm.
So thinking back to when you were just starting comedy and kind of starting to take it serious, how did that process kind of start? What really cemented that, like, oh, okay, like I can make this a career?
At first, it was, can you do this? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That's number one. You need to figure out whatever you're trying to go for, can you really do it? Like,
Mhm.
are you nice as you think you are? You know what I'm saying? There was some ups and downs in the beginning. And then it's like when we realized that you could perform at colleges, because all colleges have a budget that has to have some
Mhm.
type of entertainment for students. And with colleges, you're guaranteed to get paid, whether it's
Mhm.
500 or 5,000, you're guaranteed to get paid. So
Mhm.
that's when I was like, wait a minute, you can make a career off this
Mhm.
and pay your bills and sustain a pretty good, successful life of living just by doing college shows if you manage your money and you do it right and you continue to invest in yourself and grow. And that's pretty
Mhm.
much what happened. You know what I'm saying? So, um, we clearly won't make it nowhere near the money he was making now, but at one point, 500 for a college show seemed great. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? 750, 1,000 for a college show just to
Right.
do what I love. You know what I'm saying? And you get about two or three of those a month. That's your bill. That's all you need to get
Mhm.
by. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I realized that we could really do this without having to be Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle,
Right.
big time names.
Mhm.
And that's how that started. And then going from that to getting an audition for Wildin' Out and just catapulting and investing in myself from there, that's where it kind of took off.
Okay. You mentioned a couple of things in there. So I want to go back to even thinking about when you were coming up in Southern Pines. What was your support system like as you were first starting to do comedy? Because I know in the Black community, a lot of times, if it doesn't fit the average route, sometimes it's a little bit of pushback. Sometimes
No,
it's
my
maybe just not understanding.
my support system was pretty much freestyle funny.
Mm-hmm.
All we at that time, there was no wilding out. None of us was on TV. None of us was, money didn't matter at that time. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? It was really us trying to master craft and realizing we got something special. Um,
Okay.
and that's pretty much all we needed was
Mm-hmm.
each other. Yeah, just our brothers, man. Because at the time, man, it was just like, you know, eh, you never know what you have or what you're going through till you went through it or it's gone. And
Mm-hmm.
that was some of my happiest moments in comedy was when we was in the car in the van driving 17 hours to pick up $1,000 check to split between five people. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? You don't know you was in because that's when we was really doing it for the love and the passion. Now it's like, how much they paying? I'm okay. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
at that time, we just needed each other. But
Right.
I think what stops a lot of people from going after what they want to is, you know, my mama don't believe in me, my spouse don't believe in me. This You don't
Mm-hmm.
need none of that. You just need yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
even though we was a collective, each one of us individually believed in ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And we pushed each other. You know what I'm saying? There was people who didn't believe, even when I started comedy. You sure? You know what I mean? You
Mm-hmm.
always gonna have to be, and those people ain't doing them projecting their insecurities on you
Right.
but when it happens, look how everybody reacts.
Mm-hmm. And that's important really with any field. You got to have that confidence in yourself because at the end of the day, it's going to be you.
It's gonna be you. And then one thing you don't want to do is just go through this life. And one thing that we've learned in the past 2 years, and I think it's been thrown at everybody's face, is that this life is extremely short.
Mm-hmm.
So why spend it not going for what you know you're supposed to be doing or what you feel like you're supposed to be doing.
Right. I
Mm-hmm.
definitely think this is a time where we've seen a lot of people investing in themselves.
Yes.
Um, but even looking back to a couple of things you said about with your with the comedy club, how much does the relationship between you and, you know, the people that you call your brothers play into you all's comedy as a whole?
Um, a lot different experiences we've been through on the road.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we used to Freestyle Funny used to do a show once a month in Greensboro at the Comedy Zone, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for 3 years straight, we had to come up with a new 10-minute set every month. I don't think people
Mm-hmm.
understand how hard that is. And
Right.
then like the first year, you know, nobody would come to our shows, not even our friends,
Mm-hmm.
nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like
Really.
we would, it's 5 of us, each comedian would get 5 free tickets, and even the
Mm-hmm.
free tickets, people wouldn't come. And
Mm-hmm.
it took years for us to build that up. And now I can honestly say each one of us has sold out the Comedy Zone in some way, shape, or form individually. That's where we all started. So to
Mm-hmm.
go from 5 of us having 20 people, and I'm talking about 20 max people at a show, to
Mm-hmm.
now, I mean, I got booked there early in the top of the year, 5 shows, all 5 sold out.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, it played a role in building us, building that
Mm-hmm.
confidence and relying on each other, because we all have different styles of comedy. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? We could all tell the same joke, but none of us will ever tell it the same way.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's get into that a little bit. What is the content and comedy process to look like?
I mean, I can't speak for every comedian, but for me, mine is natural.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a lot of effort. I'm not
Okay.
upwriting. I'm not trying to put this theme and be weird, smart with this. A lot of my comedy is feel good, is high energy, is, you know, you're all about reminiscing on certain times in everybody's life that we can relate, especially that I've seen them and from my point of view. And
Mm-hmm.
it's very improv. I'm not a
Mm-hmm.
right, we're gonna write all day. I'm not one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Turn the mic on, let's do it. So
Mm-hmm.
I owe a lot of my talent to God. Like a lot of people be like, man,
Okay.
how do you, man, when you come in the room, how you light up the room? I can explain that. You didn't know me from a can of paint. You may have known me from what I've accomplished, but you don't know me for real. But you saw the impact I make when I show up to man's house. It's a
Right.
big difference from when I'm there and when I'm not there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it's huge, like it don't pop or nothing, but you know what I'm saying? It's a
Mm-hmm.
difference. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
people are a little bit more laughing, a little bit more happy. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mm-hmm.
and all of that's God given. Like there's no effort in that at all.
Mm-hmm.
That's all God given.
So looking back on some of maybe your earlier shows, what are some things that maybe, you know, from a show that wasn't what you would have wanted it to be, or what have you kind of learned? Like, what are some things?
Man, get back up and do it again. I mean, for years,
Okay.
I felt like I did not have a successful show in Charlotte. Like I feel like
Mm-hmm.
when we first started, I would do well in Atlanta. I'd do great in DC, um, good in Greensboro, and you know that was kind of our market. That's pretty much the HBCU market right there. You got DC, Raleigh, Durham, Greensboro, Charlotte, Atlanta. That's where a lot
Right.
of and for years I just did not do well in Charlotte. When we first started, I'm talking about like not the Comedy Zone, you know, hood spots, little
Mm-hmm.
restaurants, bars, wherever we could get on stage. And I would do Greensboro, and I would do Charlotte, like, and I'd be like, what in the world is going on? Like, why can't I get this? And then Charlotte is now, you know, one of my favorite venues, favorite cities to perform in. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So uh getting over that fear, like
Mm-hmm.
it's all about getting back up. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally all it's about. Like you get embarrassed, you fail, what you gonna do? Are you gonna
Mm-hmm.
quit? Or are you gonna get back up? And it's
Mm-hmm.
okay to do both. But which one's gonna bother you the most later on?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So past that, you've had like some huge breakthrough performances from the BET Awards, from Wildin' Out. Talk to me a little bit about how some of those came into fruition.
I got on Wild 'N Out because Chico was the first member of our group to get on.
Mm,
And he got on and became an instant star. Very, very extremely talented. And I felt like the improv and our comedy group is what prepped him for that. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? And so seeing that he could do it, it was like, well, shit, if my brother could do it, I can do it. And
mm,
we literally tried to get everybody on. Chico went on, made a name for himself, and then Dot got on, and then I got on, and actually Bert got on like
mm,
our third season, but a lot of politics when you're in the industry, a lot of BS. And
mm,
Bert did, I don't think Bert got his fair shot on the show, but he still has Wildin' Out credit. And then the fifth person was Osama bin Drinking, which we literally almost had at the last audition, but that's
mm,
when social media started playing the role and not necessarily the most talented.
mm.
So we wasn't able to slide him in there. I mean, we literally like that was the dream, like to get
Mhm,
all five of us on there. And we was literally one step away because he made it to his final audition. And but that's when Wild 'N Out changed. And social media played a role. And one of the younger, you know what I'm saying? Then they started getting real diverse with the cast, you know what I'm saying?
mhm,
So he probably missed it by a season. But
mhm,
yeah, that's how we got on there. Me and Chico drove from Charlotte to New York for a 15-minute audition. It was a 20-hour drive.
mm.
Um, Made that sacrifice. You know, all I asked my brother to do was, put my name in the right place, and I'll do the rest. And I did. I got on there.
Mhm,
Um, Ended up over 80 episodes, 8 seasons. McDonald's commercials through Wild 'N Out, other
mhm,
opportunities, and then with BET, there's a lot of Aggie, there's a lot of HBCU influence in BET. So I'm very known within the HBCU community. And my personal goal is to perform at every single HBCU in some way, shape, or form. And I'm probably at
mhm.
like 90% right now.
Period.
I've probably done like 90 out of, I think it's 101. I've done 90,
Mhm,
probably like 92. I'm real close to doing all. I'm only missing Hampton, Howard, Xavier,
mhm.
Chaney, Wilberforce, and I want to say, no, that's
Have you
it. I
done
think that's it.
Dillard?
Yeah, I've done
Is
Dillard.
Dillard? Okay.
Yeah, Dillard's HBCU. They're known for doctors.
Mhm.
Yeah, they have a real good doctor program. But yeah, um, I'm about at 90%. So that's a personal goal. So with having that kind of influence and having those relationships from Central and my own alma mater and everything else, there's always people like, who'd be good for this? Darren. And then
Mhm.
my job, and I feel like anybody who takes the time to put my name in the right place, I just want to make you look like a genius. I just want to make
Absolutely.
you look good. So, and then once that happened, people talking, it happens. I did the Sonic commercial. Then Kraft Cheese heard about Sonic and they booked us through MTV. And then the social media awards and being a part of that and being the first person to host, do a voiceover, and appear on the award show.
Mhm.
Um, all because people talking, it's all about how you treat people too.
Right.
You can't be in these spaces, in these rooms, and be a butthole to people. You can't do that. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Speak from everybody, from the PA to the camera person to the person who go gets the coffee to the person who go gets your food.
Mhm.
Like, because you never know. Those people are building. They're not doing this. They're doing this to get somewhere
Mhm.
else. And just being who I am, grounded, I think has really granted me a lot of opportunities. There's a couple of people I know who work at BT who throw my name in
Period.
everything, no matter what, because I've always come through, held them down, be professional, you know what I mean? So, and I just don't get caught up in all of it because, all the success and everything can be gone at the blink of an eye.
Right.
There's so many people blackballed for just, and at the end of the day, when you get older, man, take some responsibility. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You don't got to be a butthole.
Mhm. So you brought up a couple of things. The idea of how comedy and honestly everything in the world is changing with digital platforms, giving people who might not have normally had a voice now. What are your thoughts on kind of some of the, comedians that are Instagram comedians and TikTok stars, et cetera, et cetera?
Hey man, get your bag. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I have no problem with doing that. But if you are going to step into the stand-up world, all I ask is don't disrespect the stage or the mic.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna call yourself a comedian, There's nothing wrong with being a content creator, doing whatever, you know what I'm saying? But if you're gonna call yourself a comedian, just make sure you can do it in a physical form as well.
Right.
Because there was one point where you got all these followers, you sell out a show, but you only can do 12 minutes on stage, and everybody's like, "Well, I paid $30 to see this," and you're getting exposed. You know what I'm saying? So I have no problems with it. You know what I'm saying? I have a ton of friends in that space, and some people even think I come from that space. A lot of people think I'm a social media comedian. I'm like, there's no way. I've been doing stand up since 2008. So I have no problem. Everybody get your money. Just if you gonna call yourself a comedian, just make sure that you could do it on stage as well. That's all. That's all you got to get from it. You do it on stage, you're good. And it takes time. Like comedy is not something you can just follow. Even when you're naturally blessed, it takes time to get to understand the rhythm and the cadence and the callback and how to play to a crowd. And just because everybody's over here live, you can't forget about these people over here. And then there's different spaces. There's comedy clubs where you can go at a slow pace and everybody's engaged and they're grown. Or you got to go to a college show where it's turn. Got to be quick and got to be fun. Or you got to do an arena where you have to be loud and big and over exaggerate everything because it's 10,000 people in here. So it's different energies for different spaces.
And those are things that honestly, like outside of being in that social media platform, people would not know.
Nobody thinks about. Nobody even. They look at the phone, they look at the numbers, they're like, "Oh, you got it." You have no idea. Like comedy's training. That's training. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. Like, and I can honestly say, I truly believe I'm one of the greatest at it. When I get done, I have people coming to me all the time, like, I had no idea that you do. Now you know. So now whenever I come back here, you know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? I've won over plenty of people who just be like, "Oh, I've seen his face somewhere. Let me just go to the show, see what he's talking about." And then when I'm done, they're just like, "I'm with you for life. Whatever you need." Like I've literally had somebody give me a bracelet off their wrist. A grown man with a player bracelet was like, "Hey man, here." I was like, "Okay." I mean, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it. Like I ain't no hoe or nothing, but I'm gonna take it. And I've had the most important thing with comedy for me is the fact that people will come out to see me. Whether you got a free ticket, a comp ticket, you paid your ticket, because it takes a lot for me to leave my house. Like I got friends in the industry who come to the Comedy Zone all the time, and I still be like, I catch you next time. You know what I'm saying? It takes a lot because I'm not the most social person anymore. I used to before comedy, you know what I'm saying? But now the world's changing, people are changing. You get it. People are weird now. It's not the same. Definitely. So, the most important thing when it comes to the stand-up and the comedy is, you got dressed, you find somebody to watch your kids, you put on clothes, you got in your car, you drove, how long the drove it was, you stood in line, you got food, you sat down, you paid your money, all because you trust me to heal you. And I've had people at my shows who say, "Hey man, I lost my mother last month. I ain't laughed in a month. I ain't felt alive in a month. Thank you." I've had people come to my shows, "Man, I just beat cancer. This is the first event I've came to since I beat cancer. Thank you." That is the beauty of comedy. The money and everything else will eventually come. You know what I'm saying? But when you have people tell you stuff like that at a show, it takes all the politics and everything you've been through. It takes all that BS away.
That's crazy. That is crazy. Okay, so as a comedian, I'm sure, as in any industry, there are people that are considered, goats of this and whatnot. So are there any people that you consider, they're goated, people that you might look up to, things like that?
It's so many. Comedy is so, and it's timeless. You know what I'm saying? You have the obvious goats, your Dave Chappelle's, you have those, the obvious goat. Then you have goats, your personal goats, and then you have goats of people who you just know.
Mm-hmm.
from Comic View, Def Comedy Jam, Martin Lawrence First Amendment, Bad Boys of Comedy.
Mm-hmm.
These are all things I was watching, which I was not supposed to be watching as a child.
Of
You know what I'm
course not.
saying?
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? So it's
Mm-hmm.
that era of ghosts. I mean, I can name all kind of comics. You know, to me, Dave Chappelle is the greatest hands down of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Can't be touched. He lives a fearless life on stage, which is very rare in today's comedy. He's fearless. He
Mm-hmm.
don't care. He's going to say it. And there's other ones like my two personal favorite comics of all time is Cedric Entertainer and Jamie Foxx. Though
Mm.
those two, if you ever see me do a show, you can see a little bit of them in me.
I can definitely see the Jamie Foxx, even with
You know
the
what I'm
way
saying?
that you do things, like you sing. All, yeah, I could definitely
You
see
can
that.
you can see both of them in me.
Mm-hmm.
Personal favorite, Sinbad. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think Sinbad gets the credit he deserves.
Mm-hmm.
He's a goat. Then there's my circle of friends. Ronnie
Mm-hmm.
Jordan. Ronnie Jordan has had me cry. Arnez J. Tyler
Mm-hmm.
Chronicles is a personal friend of mine who I think is a goat when it comes to stand up. Of course, my freestyle funny brothers, all five of us in our respective
Mm-hmm.
ways are goat. Osama bin Drinking, goated. Um, you know, guys I've been on the road with, Bank Shot. Man, there's some. I mean, Nardo just passed away. He was a goat.
Mm-hmm.
R.I.P. Dave Arnold. R.I.P. Fu. R.I.P. Teddy Ray. Teddy Ray was a
Oh
goat on
yeah,
stage. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like a dog.
Double cheeked up.
Double cheeked
Mm-hmm.
up on a Thursday afternoon. And that's just the sound. You know what I'm saying? It's not just
Mm-hmm.
him, man. My boy Sidney, James Davis. I mean, this whole era of new stand-up comedy, we're a problem. Because
Mm-hmm.
one, we ain't beefing, we get along, and we all work together in some capacity. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the stand-up comedy game is going to be okay for a while.
Mm-hmm.
My personal favorite, I think Carlos Miller's a goat. I've
Mm-hmm.
always been a big fan of Carlos in the way he's very fearless too. With the just don't care,
Mm-hmm.
don't give a f. I'ma say it. Um, but as far as that realm, like anybody from that BET Comic View era, man, like
Mm-hmm.
RNSJ, I used to just RNSJ was different. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? There's so many, bro. There's literally so many. Dave Arnold, RIP. I mean, he was in comedy 20 years till he got his special.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? 20 years. He just got to where he wanted and he passed away. Like literally one of the most saddest stories. Right after his second Netflix special. You know, a comic's dream is to get a Netflix
Right.
special or a
Mm-hmm.
special in some type of form. And
Mm-hmm.
man, it's so many. I could name, I mean, my girl Erica Duchess in Atlanta, Randy Sky in Atlanta. There's some lady
Mm-hmm.
comics who will dog walk some dudes. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking about beasts. Who else? Who else have I did a show with Coco Brown. She's an older female comic. She me told her. I seen her tear a college crowd up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm missing more because I've been on shows with them. But yeah, man, it's some dogs in the stand-up world.
Mm-hmm.
But the greatest of all time to me is Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle. My personal favorite is Jamie Foxx and Cedric.
Okay. I
Yeah.
like that. I like that. I think you definitely hit on some different, like some really important things. For one, being able to network in a linear form, working with the
Mm-hmm.
people around you that's at the same level that you are. Y'all are all talented and y'all come up together. I love that, seeing
Right.
that, because it's like everybody around you is eating and the bag just keeps getting bigger.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm talking about like from college shows to I mean, even my guy Tim Schropp from A&T, he's mostly known for doing clean comedy, church comedy, but watching him take that jump and do it. I had him on my show at Homecoming. I had him at my show in
Mm-hmm.
Greensboro, just on some Aggie stuff and just to watch his growth. You know, he had a show where he had a one night at Comedy Zone. I went to go support him and he sold it out. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Mm-hmm.
just like even Tim is a problem on stage, but Tim is he's learning. You know, he just started doing college shows and
Mm-hmm.
man, I'm telling you, this whole era, Ricky Smiley, we on tour
Mm-hmm.
together. He's a problem. Just hilarious. I just see we on tour together. Black
Mm-hmm.
Ron. Why did I say Black Ron? Everybody, when
Mm-hmm.
they see this guy Black Ron on the show, everybody gets scared
Mm-hmm.
because he does not play no games.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And these are people that
Mm-hmm.
these are some names you may have heard, and these are
Mm-hmm.
some names you may not have heard. But just know if you heard me say it, they definitely
Uh-huh.
earn my respect on that stage.
Period.
Delay. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
God, I forgot about Delay. Ryan Davis, my dog, Billy. Billy
Mm-hmm.
great girl. Billy's crazy. But like, I mean, I'm just so proud of the stand-up comedian. And everybody I've
Mm-hmm.
named has came from stand-up.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I know something you also brought up was fearlessness. So what does that fearlessness look like as a comedian, especially in today's time where you can say one thing and that could quite literally, turn the
Man,
tables for you?
just like with anything else, man, you gotta go up there and be like, I don't care. It
Mm-hmm.
is what it is at this point because and and for me at college shows, I say this in the beginning shows to protect myself. Anybody gets easily offended or anybody too woke or you can leave now.
Mm-hmm.
And I give them a good 10 to 12 seconds to see who leaves. And then
Mm-hmm.
we start the show because at a show, like it should not affect you that much to the point where you're
Right.
bothered or you need to send an email and you want to write a message.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about that. If you didn't laugh, shrug it off, keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the problem with everything. We're so worried about everybody. And at one point, comedians was the only people who had free speech.
Right.
And when you take it away from us, what are you
It's
telling
like,
us?
mm-hmm.
We're the one person that's supposed to be able to say what you're thinking because you can't
Mm-hmm.
say it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can't say it,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm supposed to be at least to say it for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, when I go on stage, man, I black out. I don't care. Like I'm just, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and don't let whoever's in front of me be killing. So now I'm in the back. I'm chain smoking. I'm rolling up. I'm like, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
And I literally give all of me on stage, no matter what.
Mm-hmm. We love that. We love that. So outside of comedy, right?
Mm-hmm.
What does that life kind of look like for you?
When I'm not traveling, I'm not home. I'm not on the road filming. Very, very loner. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like, um, I'm not cool with this new way. You know what I'm saying? I
Mm-hmm.
like going out. I'm not cool with just everybody in the section bottle battling. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
I miss when women danced on you. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I miss that era
Broke
where like,
fun. A whole lot of broke
yeah,
fun.
a whole lot of broke fun. And you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like you could have a good time without somebody recording and if it recorded,
Uh-huh.
you don't know her situation. You know she got a crazy stalker. You don't know, you know what I'm saying? I
Mm-hmm.
miss that. So I don't really be out unless I'm getting the check. It takes a lot to get now. Even with Mad Now, sometimes that's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I really just want to be out there
Uh-huh.
and have a good time. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
there's so many people who look at it as the opportunity to be like, hey, come here. I got this
Mm-hmm.
dude who's funny. Can you get him on Wild 'N
Uh-huh.
Out? And I'm like, you don't even know my story or how I got on. But you think it's
Mm-hmm.
that simple that you can come to me in this atmosphere. But
Right.
it's not even a space to talk about Wild
To
'N
do
Out.
that. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So um, I indulge in a lot of cannabis. I have my own cannabis strand. I'm very
Mm-hmm.
involved in the cannabis culture. Personal goal for mine is when it get legalized is to open my own dispensary and hire felons who got in trouble for it. Um,
Period.
uh, movie, you know what I'm saying? I just had my son, so it's a lot of family time. He turned 3 months, where
Ooh.
he's 14 weeks, 15 weeks. So
Oh, that's exciting.
a lot of time with him, just you
Mm-hmm.
know, my family, being around them
Mm-hmm.
and building that up and just growing and being a better man and realizing that life is changing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So being that my career is so public,
Mm-hmm.
I have no problem when I'm not on the road being home. Like I'm not one
Right.
of the people that gotta like I didn't build my house to leave.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
I
Like I
definitely
built
feel
my
that.
house. You know what I'm
This is
saying?
my
So it's like
home.
this is my
Mm-hmm.
home. This is peace. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And when you get into the situation I am, anytime you step outside your door, you're working. Even if you're going to go
Mm-hmm.
get gas. Excuse me, are you Big Man? You know what I'm saying? Even if I'm
Mm-hmm.
running to grab something to eat. You know what I'm saying? Big dog, it's always, you know what I'm saying? So I
Uh-huh.
really prefer to be home.
I definitely, and that's crazy because my friends and I, they shout out to my friends, they actually love you. But we were talking about just kind of the field that I wanted to go into, being, a news anchor or some type of host, or,
Mm-hmm.
conducting interviews. And it was like, I was always out of my friend group. I was always the turnt one. I was always the social butterfly. And now that I moved out here, I'm like, Mad Miles is literally my interaction with people for the week if I'm not at work.
Mm-hmm.
Cause
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a bit much now,
I
especially
mean,
now that it's
life,
the job.
you get older and life changes, right? You know what I'm saying? Like Darren 10 years ago, section shots. Where
Mm-hmm.
the ladies at? What we doing? You know what I'm saying? Darren today, let's see what's new on these streaming apps and watch something and order some food and sit in. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's all about changing, and you should be evolving. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you know, but I got my vices. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna sit
Mm-hmm.
here and say I'd love to travel. I've been to over probably 20, 30 countries.
Period.
Um, uh, I love, and then even when I travel, I don't go out, but I enjoy
Mm-hmm.
like different resorts. I enjoy
Mm-hmm.
sitting on the balcony, rolling up, taking in that I'm a country boy from North Carolina who survived all kind of verbal, mental, physical abuse, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm here in a country where I thought I would never be.
Right.
I'm around people and peers who I never thought I would meet.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been to Australia. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like a
That's
lot of
crazy.
people, you know what I mean? Like people going to Bali
Mm-hmm.
now, but I was in Bali in 2015
Period. Before they was going,
before
before
they
they knew
was
what
going.
Bali
And
was.
I'm not even tripping on that, but that's just some of the experiences. Like I love traveling, I love sneakers, and I love smoking. And
Mm-hmm.
now that I'm a father, I love being a father. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? So that's my party now. It changes. Like now, do I still step out with the boys every now and then? Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Because you gotta get it sometimes. But as far as
Right.
like on a consistent basis, the way people do, nah.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if you still partying and you in your 30s, late 30s, you gotta grow up eventually. Like, you know what I'm saying? I went to
Time to
A&T,
settle down.
we did all that in college. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Even after college from like 24 to 30. I'm talking about
Mm-hmm.
we was partying.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been looking at some of my friends, I'm like, bro, you're not tired?
I know that's
God,
right.
bro, I'm tired.
Mm-hmm. And
You
Charlotte
know,
is different. Charlotte is
yeah,
turning into little baby ATL, and it's
it
like,
is. Everything lounges, everything hookah, everything bottles. Like, you
mm-hmm.
can't just go nowhere no more. You got to reserve a table. Like, that's the first question. We got a table? Or,
We got a section.
God. And yeah, that's just how
Yeah.
it is. And the culture has shifted. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying I can't get with it. It's cool. It's just that at this point and stage of my life, if we going out, I'd rather us to be to celebrate something. Or I ain't seen my boys in
Mm-hmm.
a while. You know what I'm saying? That's why
Mm-hmm.
nobody sees me out.
Right. No, I
People don't
definitely
see me
feel
out.
that.
They be like,
Mm-hmm.
you live here? And I'm like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because people don't
No,
see
I
me out.
feel
And
that.
it's not like I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to go out. It's just, and then also, like we both discussed, times has changed. Even if I'm out,
Mm-hmm.
like I gotta deal with some dude who wanna give me some kind of plan and talk all,
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? And I'm like, bro, oh, come on. I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
bother you, man. But and then they be wanting to talk about stuff that ain't got to do with comedy. Like, hey, I do music.
What I'm supposed to do?
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, but it
Mm-hmm.
just and I know I still appreciate it. I know what you know your goals are, what you're trying to do, but it's just like be a little wild. And then it's a new world. Like
Mm-hmm.
women don't even talk to you and ask for a picture. It's
That's
dudes
true.
now. You know what I'm
That's
saying? Like
true.
a woman to stare at you
Mm.
all day and won't
They
say
waiting
nothing,
on you.
but the dude,
Excuse me.
it's different. You know what I mean?
No, I feel that. I went to
Yeah.
school out in Rocky Mount, so it was like coming from Durham. It was like, okay, like I did a year in Boston,
You went to
and
Wesleyan?
I did go to Wesleyan.
Okay, yeah.
I
I've been
just
there. I performed there.
graduated.
I performed there.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. Ooh,
crazy. Wow.
did you play a sport?
I play volleyball.
Okay. Yeah, you had to
Yeah,
play something. You didn't just
yeah.
go to
That's why
Wesleyan to
anybody
go.
go there.
Okay. 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 I
Yeah,
was about to
I
say,
was
I
just.
know you did not go just to go. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-mm.
Wasn't one of them schools out because I was living in Raleigh Durham for a while, and I got
Mm-hmm.
booked out there. I think maybe like 2 or 3 times. You know what I'm
That's
saying? So
crazy. Cause they
yeah, I
act like they
performed.
can't do nothing for us now.
Yeah, it's probably different, man. You can imagine COVID probably set them back. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
even
So
before that though.
yeah, I've been to a lot of schools, a lot.
Hmm.
Hmm.
But even the area, it was like, okay, like I'm from Durham, like, I got my little ways. I can go to Rocky Mount. I come out to Charlotte, I got to put heels on every single time. Like,
You ain't got to.
I,
You don't
I
have
got to
to.
put heels on every
You
single
don't have to. You don't
time.
have to. You don't have
It's
to. And
like,
plus, you still in that space where you feel like you have to because you're younger.
yeah,
If you was
yeah.
older, you'd be like, they going. Let me tell you something. Heels ain't never stopped. No dude from Holland that wouldn't. He try to get at you. You could have on some. You can have on them Yeezy slides. He's still gonna
This
shoot his
is
shot.
true. This is true. Uh, but yeah, Charlotte is on its rise.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I picked it. I'm glad I moved. I lived in Raleigh, Durham. I think 8, 10 years. Very comfortable. Very
Hmm.
cool place. But Charlotte was just better for me. Charlotte has a little bit more, I think, black support system,
Hmm.
black business, black
Hmm.
cohesive. I don't feel like
Hmm.
everybody in Durham and Raleigh work together to make money. I feel like Charlotte works
Hmm.
together very well. Like when the event
Definitely.
come to town, everybody's working together. There is no and just being at a major airport where I can,
Hmm. Get to where you need to go.
you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So that's very, very important. So yeah.
I definitely feel that. So just to kind of wrap things up, you've gone from hosting comedy, everything.
Hmm.
What are you looking to get into maybe next?
Whatever God has for me. I'm not even
Mm-hmm.
tripping. I don't even have a I mean, everything I've ever dreamed of,
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, has happened in some way, shape, or form. You know what I'm saying? I want to do colleges. I did colleges. I want to do HBCU homecomings. I just remember being at A&T, and then every year for homecoming, looking to see who was coming to the comedy show. Now that's me.
Mm-hmm. That's
You know what I'm saying?
crazy.
Like I'm the headliner
Mm-hmm.
at Clark Atlanta homecoming comedy show. That
Mm-hmm.
blows my mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I just did what show was that? Well, I got Southern. I'm headlining the Southern. The Southern got like 6 comics on it. Who's great? Like that blows my mind. I never thought I would be on TV.
Mm-hmm.
80 episodes. Never thought I would do commercials. Never thought I would be in a movie and shot a movie with Justine that comes out
Mm-hmm.
December or January. So
Okay.
I mean, I've surpassed. I'm on the
What
arena
you
tour.
expected.
You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? So everything here, bonus. All of this is bonus.
Mm-hmm.
All of this is like, okay, what else you got for me, God? Because one thing he
Mm-hmm.
doesn't play about is me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You know what I'm
And we'll
saying? Like
never.
even when COVID hit, I was trying to close on my house. To be able to close my house during COVID in the entrepreneur space that I'm in,
Mm-hmm. A
that speaks
blessing.
volumes to God. Volumes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
Like a
right.
career that depends on the public, and the public was closed, and I was still able to
Mm-hmm.
close my house.
So what did that look like during COVID for you?
Oh, it was. I mean, when I was in Raleigh, Durham, going to the Duke Wall, walking, running
Mm-hmm.
around with my gym friends,
Mm-hmm.
hanging with my gym friends for like literally 2, 3 months straight because that was the
Mm-hmm.
circle. That was it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like that was it. There was no bookings. There was no,
Mm-hmm.
to in February that you booked at 13, 15, 16 schools for the spring. And then when March
Mm-hmm.
hit, you see each school call and cancel. You see your
Right.
budget get lower and lower and lower. But one thing about me is I'm not a flashy guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the BMW Mack truck. I don't have, you know what I'm saying? I never blew my
Mm-hmm.
money on. Now, do I have nice things? Absolutely. But I've never blew my money on, the 100,000 Cuban link, this, that, and the third. So I've always
Right.
been, because we come from the country. Don't forget
Mm-hmm.
about that. Because
Mm-hmm.
I don't ever want to go back to a house with the porch on it. You know what I'm saying? And the
Uh-huh.
carport and the window unit. I don't ever want to go back to that.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always been smart and real diverse with my money, big on savings. So I didn't really miss a beat because I had saved so much money. But there
Okay.
were some virtual things that came through that cut
Mm-hmm.
checks and good checks actually, which is crazy to be getting paid that much to do something just like this. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So and again, how did those things happen? God. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
at one point I was making almost the same as I was when we were traveling for
Before.
shows. Yeah, so I owe it all to God and praises to Him, and got through it. And then as the world opened
Mhm.
back up, got on my own tour where I headlined my own comedy club tour, sold out a few dates, and I ended up going to Nashville, Chicago,
Mhm.
and Ohio and Connecticut. Like it was great. It was great.
Mhm.
It was great.
Period. Well, I want to thank you for taking the time out.
Absolutely.
This
Sorry
has
I couldn't get
been
the schedule
great.
right.
No,
Newborn
you good.
and
You good.
homecoming season. Oh, I
Mhm.
cannot. Whew, I don't think people get it when because not a lot of people can do college shows.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what
Mhm.
that's our season
Uh-huh.
where it's coming.
Definitely.
So I'm glad we connect. I'm glad we can make this happen. And I'll probably see you at the next Mad Miles.
For sure. For sure. Let everybody know where they can tune in with, keep connected with you, what's coming up, all of that.
Darren Brand _ on Instagram, Darren Brand, I think _ on Twitter, TikTok, Darren Brand 5, Darren Brand something on TikTok.
Mhm.
Um, Tours coming up, homecoming coming up, Charlotte. I need y'all to buy y'all tickets to the Real Talk Comedy Show. We will be at the Bojangles Coliseum October 30th. As a matter of fact, I'm probably going to try to get them to make an announcement at Mad Miles if I'm in town. I'm not going to be here the next 2 Tuesdays. Dang.
Mm.
I'm not gonna be here till the Tuesday the week of. You know what though? I'm gonna get brother. I'm gonna get
Cause he'll
Cornell to
still
make an
do it.
announcement. Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah,
get him to
he'll
make an
still do
announcement.
it.
But Charlotte Real Talk Comedy Tour, Bojangles Coliseum, October 30th. Need y'all to pull up. Me, D Ray, Ricky Smiley, B Simone, Jess Hilarious, Moneybag. Need y'all to I live here, so don't let me down. This need to be one of the
Mhm.
biggest cities, the biggest stops on the tour. Um, Kansas City, we on the way. St. Louis, we on the way. Chicago, both of your shows about sold out. We'll see y'all this weekend, 14th, 15th. I'm not sure when it comes out. And just Real Talk Comedy Tour, link in bio. Basic the Bougie, season 7 just got picked up. We will be shooting, got renewed. We shooting in November. So all the Basic the Bougie fans, calm down. We did not get canceled. I don't think people understand. It's hard to schedule with
Mhm.
talent when people are working. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
basically, Bougie will be back. I will be back on season 20 for a while now. I went back this last season and jumped on for a few episodes. Sure, you'll see me make an appearance. And man, chase your dreams, guys. You get one life. You know what I'm saying? Don't matter if you're about 40,
Period.
go do it. Do what makes you happy. You know what I mean? Be consistent, be current, and don't quit.
Period. Y'all heard him.